Welcome to Settling's Not an Option. I'm Adam Nebbs, and I'm here with my amazing friend, Amanda Stanhope. If you enjoy listening to curious-minded people having interesting conversations, you've come to the right place. Our aim is to confront assumptions, challenge expectations, and encourage as many people as we can to stop settling for an unfulfilling life. To support the show, you can follow us on Spotify, Amazon Music, or YouTube. And if you're so inclined, you can find a link to coffee in the description, where you can donate as little as $1 to help us keep the show going. So welcome, guys. We haven't recorded in a while. We've been busy and we've been trying to work through some technical issues. So we're obviously doing a bit of a different mainly from my end. Amanda's always a lot more cluey with this stuff than I am. But yeah, we've just been kind of working through some new software, which we'll kind of display today. So any feedback from you guys would be great. But yeah, the way we're going to kind of do this today is I've got a video that Amanda's going to react to, and we'll just have chats throughout it, and that'll be kind of the first half of it. Then we'll swap over, and I'm going to react to a Jordan Peterson video that she sent through to me, and we'll go from there. So we're going to try this for a while because we've kind of had the same format, and we just want to try something a bit different.
Yeah, try some reaction videos, see how it goes.
Yeah.
So we're not settling for our old format. We're trying a new format.
I like that. Look at that. Yeah.
Right,
See,
right.
That's exactly right. We're not settling here at Settling's Not an Option.
That's right.
But also, I've got some homework for Amanda today. I've been quite mean. So I reckon I'll get some homework back.
He told me that before the show, and I'm like, okay, now I'm curious.
Thanks,
what's his homework going to be? Yeah.
Okay, so
sorry, technical difficulties already. I hit play. Sorry.
No, that's all right. Okay,
here we go, people. This is our first time, so bear with us.
Yeah, I'm going to get it wrong. If anyone gets it wrong, here it is.
All right, so are we ready to start rolling the video?
I think so.
Yes, and I have no idea what this is, so it's going to be fun to find out what it's about.
What matters most to you? After you sift away all the distractions, all the possessions, all the things, what matters most to you in this one life that you have?
Can you hear it okay?
I can hear it quite quietly.
I know. I thought it was pretty quiet. Let me turn it up more.
When I've asked this question to thousands of people around the world, people tend to say things like,
Good.
Oh, I'd like to be happier, or I'd like to live a healthy life. I'd like to get a good job, graduate, I'd like to do meaningful work. My wife and I would say that we want our kids to be happy and to make a meaningful contribution to society. Other people talk about finding inner peace and finding solutions to social problems and making the environment better. So now let me ask you this. How can you reach any of those positive outcomes without using your character strengths?
I'm just going to say, I probably should say what the title of this video is, but you can see it, but it's a universal language that describes what's best in us. So that's why he's talking about character strengths, apparently. So that's what we're getting to, character strengths. Okay, I like it.
Indeed, yep.
And the answer is you can't. In order to achieve anything in life, to reach goals, you need to tap into your self-regulation and your perseverance strengths. In order to live healthily, you need to tap into strengths like prudence and hope. To create any kind of good, meaningful relationship, an intimate relationship, we of course need to be using strengths like kindness and love and forgiveness and social intelligence. Now, how do I know this? Because in the mid-2000s, something groundbreaking took place in the social sciences. A common language of human strengths was uncovered. This was a 3-year project, a collaboration of 55 scientists who wanted to answer the question of what's best about us? What's best about human beings?
So this is good. It's best about everyone. So it's something that's good in everyone?
Yeah, so what he's talking about here is it's like a big part of the positive psychology movement. So back in 2004, Martin Seligman and Christopher Peterson kind of put together this big project. So it's part of positive psychology
Okay.
and yeah, focusing on people.
Okay, cool.
What constitutes a life of flourishing, a good life, a meaningful life? And they traveled to very remote areas on the planet to try to answer this question. So they went up as far north as you can go on the globe and spoke with the Inuit people in northern Greenland. And they spoke in another remote culture, or connected with the Maasai tribal people, far off the tour circuit in Kenya, and Eastern cultures and Western cultures. And what they found is incredible parallel across these cultures, across what is being said in all of the world religions and the ancient philosophers dating back to Aristotle. They found a common language that's in all of us. And this common language includes strengths like creativity and curiosity and kindness and love and social intelligence, bravery, perseverance, zest, honesty, teamwork, leadership, appreciation of beauty and excellence, self-regulation, prudence, humility, and on and on.
I'm like on the edge of my seat. I'm like, what is he going to say it is? I want to know.
Excellent. This is what I was hoping when I found this video.
I know. I was like, come on, just tell me.
4 strengths. And since then, the last decade, there have now been hundreds of studies showing that these strengths and using these strengths is connected with greater flourishing in life. It's connected with greater health, greater happiness, managing problems, depression, and so on. And I remember before this common language came about, I was working one-on-one with people with severe depression, with people with chronic anxiety, major stress conditions, and I would be taking a typical deficit-based approach with them. I'd be asking them about what's wrong, trying to really study their problem, and trying to come up with treatment.
So deficit-based approach would be like addressing the problem. So focusing on a weakness rather than focusing on a strength, basically, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
To help them. And when this common language came about, with the backing of science, suddenly I was asking different questions. And I was starting to ask these same people, well, what's actually best about you? What are your highest strengths? How might you tap into your own curiosity, your own kindness that's very high for you? How might you use that to solve your problems? How might you tap into your strength of hope or self-regulation to become more resilient in life? Or you want to create a better relationship with that person? Well, how might we talk about how to tap into your fairness, your forgiveness, and other strengths? So it really became a game changer for me professionally, and then also personally, applying it to myself and with my family and friends. So how might you make the most of this common language? I want to offer you a metaphor of 4 levels of light.
So did I miss, like, what's a common language? Did I miss it?
So he touched on it very delicately, and I think, yeah, there's almost an assumed level of understanding. So there's 24 different categories.
What was on that in that oval?
Yeah, kind of in that kind of diagram, and then there's all these subsets that come off it. So that's the common language.
So all of that is the common language, like all 24 things.
Well, basically, it's saying across like every human being, there will be like almost like a ranking of those different things. Okay. So I've taken the survey before, and there'll be 5 of those attributes, I guess you could call them, or character strengths. Character strengths is the language. Yeah, that will relate to me. So he's saying they're common across every single person. It's just what order does it fall? Sure. What's your greatest strength?
Okay. So it kind of reminds me like of the 5 love languages. If I go back to that, I forget who that is. But anyways, there's the 5 love languages, and everybody has some of them, like a percentage of each one. But obviously, you're higher in some than in others.
Yes, yeah. That's good comparison. Yeah.
Pilot light to flickers of light to a beam of light to a full glow. So it all starts
Sorry, for some reason it goes quiet when I pause it. I don't know why. So I'm trying to get it up
with the pilot
again.
light.
That's okay, yeah.
You've seen
we're working through the
in
bugs.
your stove or fireplace that faint little movement of a flame, sometimes barely perceptible. We have 24 pilot lights within us, 24 capacities to bring forth good, positive qualities. We could think of these as potentialities, potentiality for so much more. And if we ignite those pilot lights, we get them going, then perhaps we reach the next level of flicker of light. And you might have noticed when you've been in conversation with someone that they're talking about something positive or something good that happened to them, and the little sides of their lips start to curl up. Or maybe they have a change in their body posture. Or maybe they have a certain giggle about them. Or maybe this universal experience of the eyes lighting up. You can literally see their eyes lighting up when they're talking about something good or positive. These are flickers, little sparks that we can notice in ourselves or in other people. It's kind of like the precursor to these character strengths that we're noticing. And with enough flickers, we can reach the next level, and that is the beam of light. And so this is where we're clearly expressing one character strength or more in a situation. So perhaps when you were walking down 5th Street, you decided to buy a second cup of coffee and give it to the homeless man who's standing out in the cold on the corner. In that moment, you were shining your beam of kindness. Or perhaps your friend called you up and started to sort of jab you with some political comments, knowing he or she would get a rise out of you. And you decided to restrain yourself, shining your beam of self-control or self-regulation.
No, I was just thinking, because Adam knows this, but I read Michael Singer's book, The Untethered Soul, every day. And now it's reminding me of that, like where you're focusing your consciousness. And like that's kind of what he's talking about, is you're focusing your consciousness on one aspect of that language so that you are able to fully embrace it and fully, create this beam of light, because now you're like, what's the right word? Oh gosh, I can't think of the right word. You're like personifying that value.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, cool. I was just like relating it to like, what.
Yeah, I could tell
with you. About.
Yeah, I could tell.
You can tell. Adam knows me too well.
Because you knew that could cause a problem in your relationship, and that the relationship is more important than an argument or politics. Probably in that moment, you were maybe expressing some internal forgiveness as well for that person. Beam of forgiveness. Or maybe you relate to the tutor who is helping a student with a disability at a university. And this tutor was working with the student, and the student was really starting to struggle with the material, struggling with the learning, not knowing what to do. And so the tutor said, let's just stop for a moment, just pause. I just want to say to you that I see so much bravery in you, so much courage. You know why? Because you go to class every single day knowing you're going to be facing adversity, knowing you're going to be facing struggles. The difficult teacher that you have, classmates that might tease you or give you certain looks, and your own struggles with learning and grappling with this material. But yet you go every single day facing that adversity, facing those struggles. And I just see so much bravery and courage in you. So in that moment, that tutor is shining her beam of perspective or wisdom for that student. And in turn, the student then is being catalyzed to use her strength of perhaps more bravery or more perseverance, going from day to day, more zest, and so on. And so then we can expand that.
The collective unconscious. That's what it is.
Together.
It is. This is basically the collective unconscious. And if you people listening, if you don't know what that is, look it up.
That beam of light, using that particular strength in a situation, we can expand it to the 4th level. And that's the level of the full glow. And so this is where we're expressing many strengths across situations. So we're not just expressing love in our relationships, in our family, but we're also expressing love in the workplace by being very warm and genuine to people, by being thoughtful, by being a good listener. That's expressing love in the workplace. And we don't just express fairness and teamwork and perseverance at work, we would also express it at school and in our relationships, being a good relationship team and persevering in the relationship and so on. And so that would be reaching the full glow, expressing a wide range of these strengths across situations.
I like it and appreciate it, but that just sounds so funny to me. Expressing the full glow.
Yeah, look, I have to say that was one part that I laughed at, just because I've heard someone say full glow in a different context. It might be what you've heard, but I was just like, well,
maybe
I'm
maybe
struggling
that's
here.
why it's striking me funny.
Yeah. So, yeah, I love the fact that you picked it up on
I'm not
that.
trying to make fun of the guy, but it's just, I don't
No,
know.
I mean, it's a good,
striking me
simple
funny.
metaphor for what he's trying to get
Yeah.
across. But yeah, if you've heard that before, it makes it difficult.
Situations. So how else might you reach your full glow? There's been a really important finding in this science, and it's a finding around what's called signature strengths. Our signature strengths are actually a subset of these 24 strengths that are unique to each person.
Okay, that's what you were talking about.
So these are the strengths of the 24 that are highest for you, that are most energizing for you, most natural for you to use. And what research...
Damn it, I'm going to have to go take this test, aren't I?
That's your homework. Yep.
Is that
absolutely.
it? I can handle that because I was going to do that either way.
Yeah, okay, but that's why I thought this isn't going to be too bad.
No.
Like, it's something you'll want
Like,
to do.
you know I'm going to have to because, I can't not take the test now.
Oh, well, and I just want to know what your character
Me
strengths
too.
are. Like, I think I know what they are, but I'm curious.
Yes, I'll have to list them in the, I don't know, somewhere in the video here once I figure out what they are. So
Yeah, sounds good.
research is finding is that, and this is across cultures, that people that use their signature strengths in new ways each day, that's being associated in gold standard studies with higher happiness and less depression for 6 months. I mean, think about that. Just to use
makes sense.
one or more of your best qualities in a little bit wider way, a little bit new of a way, a unique way. But don't just take the scientist's word for it, and don't just take my word for it. Let's take your word for it. So I want to invite you now to select one of your signature strengths.
I need the list again.
Yeah.
And
No, I saw
selecting
one.
the one that you believe is most core to who you are, most central.
What
to
was
your
the one that you,
All right,
like, without
most
taking
core.
the test, what do you resonate with?
Well, the one I noticed, and it's right in the middle, but judgment, critical thinking, that's definitely one of mine.
Yeah, I'd agree.
And that might be, but I think if I had to pick one, well, curiosity, judgment, critical thinking, maybe humor,
Yeah, I'd say humor.
perspective, social intelligence. I don't know. There's a lot of them.
There's a lot. So, but it'll be interesting when they spit out the report with your top 5
Yeah.
as to whether they're what you think they are. But those ones you've listed, I'd say they'd be up there. Like,
I would
most of
think, I almost feel like judgment, critical thinking is like number 1 or number 2.
them. Yeah.
But we'll see.
Watch the space.
What's that?
Watch the space.
Watch the space.
Oh, sorry. Maybe it's a saying, which is like just everyone stay tuned for when Amanda does it to see
Oh,
when they're
okay. Yeah, that's an Aussie thing. I didn't know that.
I think so.
Watch your space. I learned something new today, though.
Okay. I want to invite you to really see this strength that you've chosen within you. See it clearly and appreciate it. See that it has helped you in so many ways in your life to achieve different things, to reach your goals. It's contributed in a positive way to your relationships. It's helped you to engage in day-to-day life. Maybe it's even helped you find deep meaning in life. See that and appreciate that. And now, imagine this. Imagine that that strength has been plucked out of you. You're not allowed to use the strength for the next month. How would that feel? What would that be like to not use that strength for the next month? So if you chose curiosity, you can't pursue anything new. You can't pursue novelty. You can't do anything new. You can't ask any new questions. You can't explore anything on the internet.
Yeah, that's not
You
going to
can't
happen.
eat any new foods. You can't go to any new places, any new restaurants.
That's not going to
next
happen.
month. If you chose judgment and critical thinking, you can't be logical, you can't be fact-based, you can't be thinking-oriented, you can't be reasonable with people, you can't look at many ways to solve problems, you can't look at many details of a situation for the next month. If you chose love, you can't be warm and genuine in your relationships. You
That's
can't be
okay.
thoughtful to people. You can't value close relationships.
I don't need love.
You can't hug or kiss anybody for the next month.
Give me critical thinking any day.
What would that feel like? What would that be like for any of the strengths that you chose? And so how people usually respond to that in a word or a phrase is they say, I would feel empty inside.
Yeah.
Hollow. I would feel depressed. I would feel devastated. People say, I feel viscerally anxious. And
Yeah, I was feeling anxious thinking
I felt
about
like I was
it.
not me.
Yeah.
I felt like I was just twiddling my thumbs in life. I felt hopeless and helpless. I felt as if I was suffocating, like I could barely breathe because my best quality was taken from me. That's how important your signature strengths are, unique to each person on the planet. So perhaps you're ready to take action. Take a look at this picture here. This picture is an illustration by Kim Jai-hung. And what do you see?
Mountain.
Sure, you could say I see mountain landscape and I see some trees in the background, a pond is there, looks like a dark day, that kind of thing, right? Now, take your left ear and place it on your left shoulder and tilt your head like that. And now what do you see?
A bird or something.
A bird?
Yeah.
Ah.
Well, here's his beak.
So perhaps now you see the figures
In like,
emerging
I don't know. This looks like a
from the
different
picture.
head.
Can you see two people like
our left
this?
side in
Oh.
the middle, taking up the whole
Oh,
picture
but
up
if you
toward
go
the
this
sky and
way-
toward the
Okay.
water.
So he's told you to go the wrong way.
There's always more.
See,
It's probably
there you go.
flipped around.
Yeah, if you've gone the wrong way, maybe you do see a bird. I'll have to look at it.
Because this way I see like a Buddha or like someone like meditating.
Yeah.
But this way
Yeah.
it looks like a bird.
When you said bird, I was like, wow, that's a way different thing. But
Are you
okay,
looking
maybe.
at? Oh
To the
gosh.
picture. There's always more going on beyond the surface in every conversation, everything that we do with anybody. And in order to see strengths, in order to see virtues in people, in order to do something different, we have to take action with the strengths. We have to learn to tilt our head, doing something different. You might remember this.
That'd be a nice little trigger to
Who
remember.
you are is what you repeatedly do. So who you are in this world is what you repeatedly do. So do character strengths. Be your best character strengths. How might you do that? Well, you might take action by first learning what your highest strengths are and expressing them more in your life. You might take time to savor and appreciate those strengths. You might turn to the person next to you or to your loved one or your child or your boyfriend, girlfriend, your spouse, and talk to them about the strengths that you see in them, that you see fairness and kindness and forgiveness in them. Spot those strengths in action. You might go a step further and see the strengths of your enemies. See the strengths of people that disagree with you. And express the strengths widely. Reflect on how you use them, discuss them with other people, and bring them about every single day. Keep them top of your mind. Cue yourself to remember to use your strengths. And imagine if you did that. Imagine if I did that. We would be creating this positive contagion, a ripple effect, back and forth, that would spread to our families, to our work environments, to our classrooms, to our neighborhoods, to our cities, and beyond. So we can rediscover our 24 pilot lights. We can see those sparks, those flickers of light in people. We can reinforce people in our life for showing their beam of light, and you can express your own beam of light by tapping into this common universal language that bonds all human beings. So you can rediscover your full glow. And it all starts by you and me tilting our heads.
Yes, it does. No.
Yeah, that's...
The full glow does start by tilting your head. Yeah.
Well, yeah, it kind of does. See, I didn't even think about that last bit.
Oh God,
Oh,
I'm
God.
horrible.
See, this is it. We're very insightful people, but we also sometimes our minds are in the gutter.
Yeah, I mean,
So-
you know, whatever. It's this very beautiful message I'm turning it into, like a fifth.
No, I
15-year-old
appreciate that.
boy.
If you were all clinical and serious about it, then I'd be like, I mean, yeah, you
Yeah.
need humor in this, so thank you for that.
So there's my humor. So there you go. That's one of my strengths.
There you go. Exactly right.
Maybe it is. But no, that was really cool. Well, and I think it brings together a lot of the concepts we've talked about before. So that's always fun too, because you can relate it
Yeah.
to a lot of the other learnings that we've had. But I guess I have the question for you is then why did you, because you said you picked the topic and then found a video that hit the topic that you wanted to cover. So why did you want to cover that topic?
Yeah, so I did the VIA character strength survey a while ago. And so my top 5, honesty, these are the subsets, by
Are
the
they in
way.
this
So
order?
honesty, in this order. So honesty, love of learning, gratitude, love, and humor.
Yeah, that
And-
makes sense.
Yeah, definitely makes sense to me too. And so like the broad categories that these subsets sit under is courage, wisdom, transcendence, humanity, and again, transcendence. So I seem to
Yeah.
kind of fall under that. But the reason I chose this is because I reflected and thought, am I leveraging my character strengths on a daily basis? And I was like, I don't think so. So I kind of have been tackling things in my life lately through these strengths.
Yeah.
So one good example would be love of learning. And what I was finding is that in my PhD, I've been so obsessed with the outputs that I'm producing and, you know, kind of putting this pressure on myself to say, why haven't I got a publication yet? Or why haven't I hit this milestone yet? And it just sucked all the joy out of this
Yep.
experience for me.
Yeah.
And instead, I was like, well, what I should be doing is leveraging my love of learning. Like, this is not about getting a PhD. This is about enjoying the learning experience.
Yeah.
And so it's just completely changed my whole perspective on things, in terms of, so I had to do an ethics revision this week. And I mean, no matter which way you wrap it up, ethics can be pretty boring and dry.
Right.
And when I looked at it from that perspective of, oh my gosh, I'm so bored by this topic, it was difficult. There was a big block in the way for me. But then I kind of switched my thinking and I was like, well, what does this revision require? And it required me to learn a lot more about coercion and how to navigate power relationships within an organization.
Okay.
And that's interesting to me.
Yeah.
And when I switched, it actually became a really enjoyable experience where I got a lot out of it.
Cool.
So that was just something I found, and it'll show through in different ways for different people. Like if love of learning is a big area for you, or honesty or whatever, leverage that on a daily basis because it's protective for your mental health. So I'm really excited to see what your 5
I know
are.
I am too. How long is this test? We might have to do it right quick after this.
I think there's quite a few questions.
Okay. Because usually they do that where they'll ask like the same question in a different way to make sure. Yeah, so then you go through a lot of different questions. Yeah.
Yeah, but the good thing, it's a free survey. I've actually got the little website up at the moment, so I'll send that through to you.
Yeah, we'll have to put that in a link in the description for the video and audio here too. So people want to check it out. But no, that was awesome. Ooh, I'm so excited.
But I'm glad you liked it.
I know, I want to know.
When I saw you geeking out, I was like, cool. Because I was just like, I need a video that will make you geek out like that. Otherwise, there's no point. If you're just sitting there like, yeah, okay.
I'm like, okay, Adam, what's it? No, that was a great pick. So, love the video that Adam picked. It was a great topic, and I'm looking forward to finding out what my 5 languages are. I keep wanting to say love languages, or not languages, but whatever. The 5
love languages, afterglow.
I don't know. So, anyways, if you made it this far, we really appreciate you listening. We hope you gained some knowledge, some wisdom from this. And again, you can find us on YouTube, Amazon Music, Spotify, and you can donate as little as $1 to us to help keep this thing going through coffee. And there's a link for that. And other than that, we'll just say, until next time, cheers to not settling. Take care.
Bye.